JT, Justin, we're here for the NoSo Post Show, Royal Rumble 2026. And talking coming into this show tonight, I think I'm going to be a little bit higher than you on it. We both rather enjoyed the show, but I think our perspective will be, I will probably look more positive and you'll probably look more negative. That's kind of the tone that I feel that we'll be at heading into this show tonight.
Maybe. I think mine, which you could argue, and we're going through this right now as Providence Friars fans, you could argue that ambivalence is worse than thinking is bad. You know what I mean? And I'm worried I'm starting to settle in a little bit with these shows there, and we'll talk about why as we go. I don't think it's bad. I did not like it, and I don't think it's bad by any means, and I don't think the promotion as a whole has been bad at all over the last couple of years. What I feel like is that their floor has risen quite a bit.
Yes.
And the problem to me is they're not getting off that floor consistently enough. Like when you look at the level of talent they have and the booking in place and the outlets that they have and how many hours of TV they have, like I feel like it's really set up for them to be like a super promotion right now. And I feel like they kind of coast under that bar too many times. Like when you look at the roster that performed tonight, like to me, there's no reason it shouldn't absolutely crush it. Right. And we can talk about maybe the whys as we go. But again, I think it's a very good show. I just think the floor has dramatically risen for it. Brandon Jr. does not agree. He thinks it sucked. So.
Yeah, and it's funny because you look at like the top match. This is the end of January, right? And you look at the top matches throughout January, and they're all sprinkled across SmackDown. They're sprinkled across Raw, and in the past they would be all on the PLE, and they maybe one on a TV show, right? So it's a different lens to kind of look at things where these PLEs feel like a continuance of the TV, a continuance of the previous PLE or whatever. So the overall, because they have a lot of masters to serve, if it's Saturday Night Main
Event. Yeah, they got to fill out Peacock now. They got to serve Netflix now. In the past, it was less so. But my problem with that would be the price tag has dramatically increased on these shows. And I think they were actually underpriced before. So this isn't a complaint about paying for it. But like when they were $10 on the network, I'm all for like making them like part of the storyline. I do think now you're asking people to pay a bit more for these. Yeah. And I think you have to meet that demand and deliver more. Like, we can talk about it, right? One of the rumored appearances was Chris Jericho, right? And I don't know what kind of draw he is at this point. Yeah. My gut tells me they didn't want to waste his return as a random number getting eliminated at the Saudi Rumble. Like, I think Philly Raw on Netflix to them is probably a bigger spot for him to come back, right? Yeah. But again, I guess you're asking people to play for Netflix now too, but you are asking a bigger price tag for these PLEs than you had in the past. So, some of that to me has to speak to it. And I think that's part of my overall, issue with it is that they're hyping, you got Triple H on these shows hyping shocks and surprises and twists and turns every show, and it doesn't deliver on them.
At what point do you stop believing that?
Just don't say it. He knows that wrestling fans' minds run wild. You know what I mean? Like he knows that when you're on the internet, what the type of fan is, and you know that they're going to work themselves up into the shoot. And he's done it since his first friggin' night at SummerSlam 2022. Wait till you see all the surprises we have on the night. And it was like the first match and then nothing else besides the tractor. So it was like, he's just going to chill and just promote the fucking shows and like stop over promising because then you're just setting people up to be disappointed.
I guess I'm desensitized to that. It's very Tony Khan-ish in the early days of AEW. Yeah, oh my God, tonight we have this, we have that. All right, we have a few comments here. The Royal Rumble sucked, Brandon Janelle. I don't know, suck is strong. Suck is very strong right there. I don't think it sucks. And then we get your buddy Ish. Hey, just wanted to say hi. I don't watch the current product at all, except for Gunther and CM Punk matches.
That was half the show tonight.
Later, keep the live podcast coming. So Ish is a big fan of the live podcast. We're a big fan of doing them, Ish. So thanks for jumping in. Always.
Oh, actually, I've turned on Ish. He didn't. He picked.
Oh, he thought my Vince was better than yours.
Not a chance.
That new vocal surgery really got that Vince.
I missed the Pillman, Gray.
You got competition. You missed the Pillman, Gray. What? I want Pillman. Yeah, one of Jay Cruz's shorts popped up, and it's when I had Pillman voice, and it was pretty fucking bad. Like,
yeah, you sounded rough at the end there.
No,
you were like Big Show with ECW.
Leading into the surgery that I had, it was a rough 2 weeks.
You sounded bad at the end there.
Yeah, and we still have a release or two with that voice to come out too, as well. So
I think you got bad again. Yeah.
It'll be funny. All right, Justin. I say we start right off the rip. Again, our tone is 7, 7.5, perhaps. You're 6.5.
Well, interestingly,
Yeah.
I guess we could say this at the end, but like, let's keep in mind a bar of last year. Because last year I think was a good show. The Rumble I thought was really good, and Cody KO was great last year.
Yeah.
So that's like the bar already coming into this, right? Is that last year's Rumble was and you had the whole Cena thing with him, Punk, and Jay at the end. Like it was a very strong Rumble overall show. So that was kind of a
Rumble though. But
Machine Guns DIY was very good. So like that was a good card to come off of.
But funny enough, we're going to start with the Women's Royal Rumble, and I thought that this Women's Royal Rumble to start was rather horrendous to start. Like, I thought it was very bad. The closing stretch that we'll get into it was good, but I thought the Alexa and Charlotte stuff was cringy.
Forced. Way too
I
forced.
thought it was extremely cringy. Charlotte 1, Alexa 2, Kiana James 3. Kiana James looked good. Nia Jax 4. I was glad to see Nia in early so we can kind of get rid of Nia Jax.
Yeah.
And then Ivy Nile to clean out the top 5. Justin, out of those 5, I didn't care about the bodysuits. It reminded me early of the pandemic Royal Rumble, where it's just like, oh, there's no crowd, but then you got to get desensitized to it, and then you get into the Rumble flow. So at this point, I stopped caring about the outfits, even though it's extremely stupid. They should wear whatever the fuck they want. But you look past that, and it reminded me of the 2021 Rumble, where they were in the Thunderdome, and there was no crowd. Once you settled in and realized it and stopped thinking about that, it was a normal, typical Rumble. But out of those 5, what'd you kind of think? Like, I thought it was horrendous.
It's good you brought up the crowd, because I saw a lot of comments like, is it empty? Are they not? But I think there were people there. I just think those stupid lights blocked them from being seen, because when they would pan up and zoom in, you could see the people. But it's also, I guess it dovetails to my thought with the Saudi setup as a whole. Like, I do think the Saudi shows have improved. Like, I do think the crowds have gotten more aware of the company and what it provides. And I think as entertainment there, right? So whatever you think of the political aspirations, like, we'll put that aside for now. But as far as the actual crowd itself, I do think there are more WWE fans now than in those early years where it felt like people being forced, to go to the show. But that said, I can't shake the vibe of the wrestlers, performers feel different when they're out there. And I don't know if they feel a little bit less at ease, or if they feel uncomfortable, or whatever it is. But I do feel like a lot of the performances in Saudi often feel like, I want to do this and I want to move along. And I think that's where it hurts a little bit of the Rumble, because it's such a big show. Whereas to me, it felt a little less like big time. It felt like a special Rumble, like Greatest Royal Rumble again. And then it makes me worried for Mania in Saudi. And if I'm them, I'm looking at that contract and thinking, all right, well, like, can we make it like Saudi Mania and have a real Mania in the US? Like I'm looking at it and just thinking, is this what we want our biggest show to be? And if it is, they have to figure out something to fix the overall atmosphere and presentation of the wrestlers, because everything feels very much like we're getting in and we're getting out, besides a few things here and there, but like it doesn't have that same aura. And I don't know what it is. Like, I think the fans seem fine. They seem into the show. It feels big, but the wrestlers just have a vibe of like, kind of don't want to be here. Like that's all I get on.
You mean all the wrestlers, or you just mean the women, or just the women?
I think all, even like the men's Rumble to me felt like kind of, let's just get through this, like more than this is like the second biggest thing of the year. Like, it didn't feel like the second biggest show of the year. And again, it's not that it was at 2:00. It's not Saudi. Like, it just feels like in that setting, for whatever reason. And I think this has been a trend of all the Saudi shows. I feel like this way even about Crown Jewel and others, that it just feels like very much just like they're performing in, like, it's almost like a theater. Like I don't know, like it's just weird. Like, it all feels like the Truman Show to me when they're out there. Like,
yeah,
I do think the fans are more understanding of the product and into it than they were, but it still feels a little bit like, is everyone forced to be here? The fans, the wrestler, like everyone. And that's like the vibe you get. This feels like uneasy,
There's a point where it should be like B shows in King of the Ring, like, or something like that. It should be B+ at best, A- at the extreme. Rumble, Mania, it kind of should not. So they need to kind of unbuckle that and go from there. All right, 6, Lola Vice, 7, Candice LeRae. Here, and this is where we start to kind of pick up, in my opinion. 8, Jordan Grace, 9, Becky Lynch, and 10, Sol Ruca. Sol would last all the way to the end. Becky with a surprise elimination somewhere towards the middle end of the match. And I thought Grace really looked good, but I was pretty concerned about her longevity when she came in and dumped 3 girls. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, that's, we're Royal Rumble veterans. We've watched almost 50 of these now. It's like, all right, she's new to the main roster.
Right.
She's going to get her shine. And then she's not long for this world, which was kind of the case. But with that batch of girls, kind of what'd you think?
Yeah, again, at this point, I think it's fine. I think Charlotte and Alexa from the start definitely felt a little bit forced, but I actually feel that way about their whole team, like the whole act that they're doing.
I don't mind the act. I thought your point
this felt like
terrible.
Just way too much. But I will say, I did think they nailed the elimination because I saw a lot of people thinking it was a botch. So to me, that tells you that it was well done, because I don't think it was a botch. I think it's going to be, it was Mega Powers like light, right? Like that. The story now will be did Charlotte eliminate her on purpose? Did she not? Right? That's going to be the story coming out of it, which is fine. I do think the gear visually is whatever. I do think they probably feel uncomfortable, like wrestling in something completely different than they do. And I do think it affects their work overall as well. And Trent Williams weighs in too and says they feel uncomfortable because they don't think a lot of the fans approve of them being there. So they're kind of stuck. So again, kind of take the sociopolitical part out of it. But I do think there's some truth to that, where they probably do feel a little bit like we aren't really wanted here. So I do think that hinders a little bit of the work. The Becky elimination symbolizes to me one of my other issues with more of the modern Rumbles, and it was really on display in both Rumbles tonight, that they've gone the other way now. It used to be where for the big stars to get eliminated, it had to be a big thing, outside interference, multiple people, like it kind of had to be a big deal. Now we've gone the other way, where I feel like the name stars are out too early or too quick or too easy with no explanation. Like we'll get to a big one in the men's Rumble that I thought was like atrocious of elimination, but even Becky here, like just getting dumped kind of like out of nowhere a little bit, like was surprising to me. And I feel like there's no through lines or crescendo builds in these Rumbles anymore. And I think that's something they have to look back at some of the older ones and try and figure out what they want to do, because a lot of the hallmark of those original Rumbles that really hit, that are littering our lists, right, on our draft and everything else, all has some kind of story or through line or concept. And now it's like maybe 2 people eliminate and you set up something for Mania, but there's like no progression through the Rumble with like a natural flow. It's just like, okay, here's a little thing now, and now like 3 people are just going to get thrown out that are like contenders for the end, and it's like they don't want to risk having them at the end to split the pops or whatever, and then you kind of end up with whatever by the end.
Well, to Becky's point, I actually liked the elimination. I felt that with Becky, everything she does is going to have a purpose, and obviously her purpose is to put over Natalya so she can work with Natalya, probably leading into WrestleMania, fill the gap before they kind of get to the AJ Lee of it all. So Becky Lynch is, I'm sure she likes and respects Natalya, so let me give this something to Natalya, so when we have those Raw matches in February or whatever, there's some substance to it, so to speak, right? So, and then Trent, to your point here, I was surprised there was no AJ Lee to set up the Becky and AJ match at Mania. And yeah, but I don't think it's time yet. And honestly, that feud is at a point where it is vulnerable to be stale. So the farther AJ stays out, in my opinion, if they're going to stretch that to Mania, the better. Give Becky that longer run with the IC, build up that IC back up coming out of the Maxine Dupree thing, and get that kind of higher where it was back when she was, dancing with Lyra and Bailey. So I don't mind no AJ Lee tonight as well. So
yeah, I mean that's fine. That's whatever. I guess maybe for me the Becky one was just more that like Natalya is not like inspiring to me at this point. Like I know she's kind of.
I'm willing to go there. I'm willing to deal with Natty though. Like that part is interesting to me. It's
maybe the new gimmick helps breathe some life into her. It just felt very much like okay.
I like the presentation. I'm willing to give it a chance. Let's put it that way, right? And Natty's been in the company since 2008, or 7, honestly. So
maybe it's more too that Becky's coming off Maxine, which again I like Maxine, but like it just feels like it's been a lot of like stalling for Becky, and it feels like
she is in the mid card but I don't know. It still works for me. I'm very high on Becky Lynch. You're very high and low, right? Or whatever, right? So
depends on the era.
Yep. All right. Sol Ruka was 10, Roxanne Perez 11, Maxine Dupree 12, Natty 13, your winner Liv Morgan 14, and Lash Legend 15. Out of this clump, before I think we can hold Lash until like later on, discuss her. Obviously, hold Liv as well, but where are you at with that? Kind of just put a bow on the Maxine and Natty portion. Anything else there before we kind of jump to the
I
rest?
liked that little stretch. I thought that was one of the better stretches of the match. I actually thought Roxy looked like a star with her entrance and look, and I thought she's the first girl that came out, and this includes Becky to me, that felt like a star when they came out for this match. Like the way they shot it, presented her, she stopped, they did the background, she turned and looked. Like to me, it felt like she got a star entrance, which I feel like not everyone did in this match. So I thought that was kind of tipped to like how they're feeling about her, and we know they think well of her. But Natty was fine. I mean, Maxine, credit to her, she's come a long way. I think she was fine. 2 years ago in the Rumble, she's a walking train wreck, right? And now it's like, okay, like she's no different than most of the girls that are out there.
She's very, very tall, unrecognizable. Like you don't realize how tall she is until she's in the ring with all those
She's
women,
really
right?
fine. Like I actually think she's a value add to a lot of the shows because I think she gets it, and
she got some wholesomeness to her in a way, right? So, but yeah, this again, the first 7 Rumble, terrible, like legit, like bad. Once they kind of got into that groove with around Soul, Jordan, all those girls, we kind of caught into a groove, and it turned into a pretty good Rumble at this point.
Honestly, once Alexa went out and they ended that, like it kind of picked up a little bit.
Yeah, I like Alexa, right? All right.
Yeah, it wasn't her fault. It's just the booking.
Yeah, no doubt. 16 Zelina Vega, 17 Raquel Rodriguez, 18 Chelsea Green, 19 Julia, and 20 Io Sky. I think this is a decent time to talk about Io Sky, honestly. Once Io Sky came in, I felt that we were really starting to maximize our minutes in this Royal Rumble. I was surprised Alba Fire came out with her. We weren't going to get her, but she's
better with her out there.
Yeah, she played into the Rumble as well. Yeah. So I like that she still like got her stuff in. And then we'll talk about probably Raquel a little bit later as well. But Zelina.
No, Zelina's on, like she had her little run again last year. Like she's fine, low mid card. And like credit to them, the women's division has been built up enough where you actually have like main event level, mid level, low level. Like in the past, it wasn't not nearly the case, right? So even as you're going through these names, it's like, okay, like they're done with kind of having to like pull from the bottom of the barrel to fill these Rumble matches, which is good for them, right? Like every name had something to do over the last year and is part of a star. I thought Julia looked pretty good. I thought it was good that they had her mixing it up. It was with Asuka and Io. I think they had her out there with kind of doing like a 3-way deal. I think it was the 2 of them. Yeah. I think too, like they have to figure out. I think it's an issue on the men's side too. It's like I feel like we're lacking the all-time stars right now, and they have a bunch of really good stars, but like who is the transcendent on the sides? And I feel like even with the women's Rumble, it's like all these women are good, but I never get the vibe like, okay, well, like here are the stars of the Rumble. Like I feel like the stars and the lower is like closer than it used to be, which isn't bad in a way. It's just different. And
that's my point of Rhea Ripley all year. Rhea Ripley should be that star.
Yeah, and even on the men's, though, I think it's like that too. Like there's a couple, but
Roman's a star.
Yeah, but you don't realize like on the flip side of that until you're like betting like number, like we did like a number pool or whatever, and you get your number comes up. You don't realize how many little options to win these matches exist until you do something like that. Like if you're just watching it, it's like, oh, they get some, like it's a pretty full Rumble. They got a bunch of names, but then when you're getting your number and some of these people come out, you're like, oh, I have no chance right away. And there's a lot more of those chances than you think. Yeah.
You're like, fuck, I got Julia, but in reality, Julia's
great. You're excited to see her, but so it demonstrates for you how little options there are to win some of these Rumbles. And I actually thought the women's Rumble, they did a pretty good job of making it open-ended at the end. We'll talk about when we get to the finish of you kind of didn't know with the last few. So I thought that was actually pretty good.
Yeah. Asuka 21, Rhea Ripley 22, Bayley 23, JC Jane, who looked good and got a nice reaction too. She looked like she had some shit to her that she always had in NXT that translates to the main roster. I wanted to make that point. And Nikki Bella 25. So to Trent's point here, Rhea is a transcendent star. Yes, on paper, she is a transcendent star. She got a transcendent star reaction once she got the pop of number 22 coming to the Royal Rumble.
The makeup was kind of weird tonight. Yeah. I feel like some of them like overcompensated for the gear by kind of do like
great, exactly. But to my point, Justin, how fast did that reaction dissipate? It was
Right.
it was like she was just another girl in the fucking ring. And if
Yeah.
you're a transcendent star, to your point and to Trent's point, you shouldn't be a fucking your star aura should not dissipate to all the other girls.
Yeah.
That's my
She
whole,
fell to the pack real quick.
and that's how they fucking present her the last
Yeah.
year and a half. That's what I've been pushing back. She is the transcendent star. They don't fucking present her as that.
No.
But they don't book the women's division around like a Roman, around like a Cody, around like an Austin, around like a Hogan back in the day. They don't do that. And that's a reason why, in a way, as well. Like the temperature should change when Rhea Ripley enters the room.
Yeah,
But
you
it
should feel like
does.
Hogan's entering or Austin's entering. The
Yeah.
women should lock in, turn around. You see her coming. She clears the ring or whatever.
Yeah, but
Like,
she's
anytime Hulk Hogan came in a Rumble, you know he's throwing 5 guys out immediately. Like, leave some of these women laying around and let her chuck them. Like, you know?
Yeah.
I thought
All right.
Chelsea looked great as always, by the way. I mean, Star, obviously, we know that. She looked really good. EO looked really good. One thing I noticed, too, in both Rumbles, we didn't really get, and I want to say now because I'll forget later, we don't really get the big elimination spots anymore. And I know it's kind of was like a Kofi thing, but I feel like we didn't get any cool.
They tried with Soul. Souls were
Yeah. She looked more stupid, I think, for trying to do that move on the apron. but it was like less, we don't get like the big, I guess it goes to my point of having less moments and through lines in the Rumbles. It's feeling way too much now. Like, all right, here's a bunch of wrestlers. We're going to let the ring fill up because especially the women, like they had a lot of women out there at once, and they're just going to wrestle. And there's less moments and spots in the match. And I'm not saying that because I just remember the older stuff, but I think it's true. Like if you watch the older Rumbles, there's like 3 or 4 big moments that scatter those Rumbles that you can like commit to memory and you remember. In this women's Rumble, I remember the end and I remember Rhea's elimination. But besides that, like there wasn't like the cool Kofi walking on his hands or jumping on the chest. It is little thing. Paul London getting clotheslined out of the ring. Like it doesn't mean much to the match, but it adds up that laundry list of why the Rumble was really cool, right? Like Muhammad Hassan getting carried around by the Jets and the Sharks, right? Like there's little stuff in each Rumble that kind of, the good Rumbles, right, that tie you together. Earthquake getting thrown out by a bunch of guys, right? Like you just remember those moments more. And I feel like both of these Rumbles, when you take away no surprises, when you kind of have like predicted winners, and then you don't have like big moments, it kind of leaves you with just like mid Rumbles. And I think that, and they're relying on the work, which is fine, but a Battle Royal Rumble scenario doesn't lend itself to being a work rate setting, right? It's got to be built on delivering moments and memorable spots and all that. Like that's just what it is by design. You're not getting great matches within Rumbles. And it's never been that way.
Yep. Very good point. But I also want to mention here, by this time, Kiana James was eliminated, and I felt that she had a good night, presentation-wise, and she looked like what they see in her was projected on the screen.
Yeah. And a funny anecdote, like we did the pool here, and my buddy Travis, he's not really a wrestling fan, he just comes to hang out, and he got Kiana James at 3 or whatever, and we're laughing. We're like, oh, in and out, you know. And as the match is going on, he's getting into it. He's like, she's still hanging on. And he doesn't know who's what, like, you know. So he's like, she's still in, like she's hanging in. So that was kind of cool. And it speaks to your point that she showed out a little bit by letting her, because I thought for sure she was like, you know, we were all over him when she came out, like, oh, you're done. Like she's getting thrown out right away.
Her energy as soon as she entered with those two was fantastic, right? And then
her gear was unique too.
Yeah,
her gear was unique. And I think the ones with the most unique gear stood out the most. And I know it's weird to say. Sol Ruka, her gear was phenomenal and it fit her character.
Yes.
Kiana James' gear,
she had the button, she had the business suits. It was cool.
She looked great. Kiana James looked like a Dolce & Gabbana purse. Like she looked like that fit her. Like her gear looked that way, right? I thought Tiffy, her all white, made her look like a star. Like, so I think with the ones that like had the gear that met their personality, I thought actually stood out really well. EO in the yellow, like the ones that pop out to me are the ones that really delivered.
All right, let's finish out these entries and then we'll talk about the finish. Lyra Valkyrie, 26. Kiana Jordan, 27. Kairi Sane, 28. And Brie Bella, 29. We'll get to her in a minute. And Tiffany was 30. Tiffany got a pretty good reaction despite expecting Bianca Belair.
Mm-hmm.
A little worried about Bianca Belair. Not that, you know, something's going. I think that this is the time now to do it. Something.
Well, was that who was talking about the surgery? Was it Rossi the other day? Someone was talking about it.
Well,
with
she
you.
had the knuckle surgery, but you know, no personal lives here. Was there like, did something go on? Or, you know what I mean? Like, so I just hope all is well. Let's just put it that way, right? So, all right, Justin, I think it's time. Brie Bella. What a fucking pop! Like, what a fucking pop.
Yeah, I know. What worries me though is that it was a Daniel Bryan pop and not a Brie Bella pop.
Yes,
But
no,
good for
but
her.
still.
Look, I'm pro Bella overall. Like I think they get unfairly bashed, but I think they actually did a pretty good job during an era before they had this level of women's performers, right? Like they really helped fill that gap of 2012 to 2015 before they really broke through with the women's revolution. Like them, and Paige is the other one that was rumored, and she was even kind of teasing that she didn't show up, which again makes me feel like they didn't want to waste big returns or spots on the Saudi crowd. And I think that speaks to their viewpoint of this presentation in Saudi Arabia, which again worries me for WrestleMania being there because they feel hesitant to deliver on those things. Because I think they figure, all right, if Paige is going to return, I'd rather do it in, on Raw because it'll be in a hot US town, maybe, right? I wouldn't be shocked if Chris Jericho's on Raw Monday, like in Philly, like feels like a bigger spot for him than there. Now that all said, the Bellas eliminating Bayley and Lyra kind of spoke to like what I was saying earlier, where the way some of these girls and guys get eliminated in the modern Rumbles. I know it's probably to set up a Mania tag, I'm guessing, right? It seems like we're headed that way. Bayley and Lyra against the Bellas, which is fine. I mean,
Or
whatever you
Raw,
want it to be.
right?
That's Mania or Chamber, most likely Mania. So whatever there. I'm fine with Brie being a surprise. Like she was fine. Who else was in there? Kalani didn't really do a ton. I mean, she always
I thought when Kalani entered the ring, I thought she
got her spurt, I guess. Yeah, she got her spurt.
She maximized her 30 seconds and made it memorable, right? So when she arrives again, you'll probably remember that, right? So
I like the Judgment Day stuff. I like the tease there that there may be dissension.
That was a good story.
Yeah.
And that was a good through line where they kind of came in clumps. Raquel looked opposing. Roxanne had some shit to her, and Liv felt like the star, right? And then Roxanne gets sneakily eliminated, and then it's like, shit, what's going on here? And then Liv is saved. Raquel, by the way, they've eliminated.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that.
Yeah.
So Raquel, I thought looked great the whole match, honestly. And she's been great lately. That elimination, I think, is like I was complaining about eliminations a minute ago, but I do think that was one of the like best women's Rumble eliminations and maybe even men's. Like that was nasty, and it made me worry for real. Like that was a sick bump off the apron.
Raquel on Raw has been phenomenal. They've done a great job.
Really good lately.
She's done a great job building her up, and honestly, I think that building her up is going to only make Liv bigger when the time comes too as well. I want to also mention Io Sky's elimination was fantastic as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I thought it was unique, innovative, and athletic, and pretty good. Like,
and so was Asuka and Kyrie. Like that was well done too, with Kyrie accidentally taking her out and then her getting dumped.
The closing stretch was rather strong.
That's where I bumped my grade, honestly, on it. Like I liked the whole ending stretch once they got down to the nitty gritty. The Raquel, like, I'm interested for you and because I guess Trent's watching and he mentioned in the comments his thoughts on Rhea. Is Rhea Raquel stip match a Mania big enough for Rhea Ripley?
Well, there has to be stakes, in my opinion, because they're foes from before. They've done the singles match on a PLE without the belt on the line. But what's the reason to fight, right? I don't feel that this Mania it would line up. But
did they have a big gimmick match on Mania?
Yeah, no, they had a good big gimmick match at one of the Saudis last year. If it was Backlash or maybe Money in the Bank, I forget. Someone, if in the comments, mention it if they recall.
And it was good, right? It was like a big weapons brawl.
They had a very good street fight in Saudi around last year in the summertime, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look at how the puzzle pieces are going to fall, and that elimination to me wasn't just like a normal elimination, which made me think there may be something coming out of it with the two of them. And I just didn't know if you felt that was big enough because I don't know. Is Rhea trending toward a title match? All right, so let's talk. Liv wins, right? So who's Liv? Where's she headed in your mind? Which title?
Raw, Vakir. Now, is it a way to like? Is it like this, Justin? Is it a building block by booking? So Raquel looks promising and dominant the whole build up into the Rumble. And then she has the most transcendent stars elimination in a memorable, awesome, powerful, oh my God spot, right? So you get that. And then Raquel is dumped out instantly by her best friend, Liv Morgan, the stablemate, the winner, is that like, wow, like, is that just moving the equity in Rhea to Raquel, into Stephanie, into Liv, back to Lakia, like, so you get that building block within the Rumble where it goes Rhea's out, Raquel's out, all from Liv. And then you have the meta one where it's Rhea into Raquel, into Stephanie, into Liv at WrestleMania. And all those are building blocks for Liv Morgan, your Royal Rumble winner within the Royal Rumble through WrestleMania season at WrestleMania. And it's just like Liv Morgan's made.
And it's interesting. Like, I think if Liv didn't win, there would have been a world where you could have done the Judgment Day 3-way at Mania where they split up.
Rossi brings this point up as well.
You do Rhea. I mean, you do Raquel versus Liv versus Roxy at Mania.
Yes. So you could do it this, I think, I don't know if Rossi told me this online or if Rossi told me this offline. It's like this. So it's like, are they building to Stephanie's a little cold, even though Stephanie, the plan is the plan, and the plan is Stephanie as it should be, right? But WWE tends to let their champions get a little cold. But let's just go down the scenario here. Stephanie's cold. They give the belt to Raquel. Liv is the kind of names the champion who she's going for in Raquel. Roxy wins the Elimination Chamber, picks the Raw girls, so you have a Judgment Day explode type of thing.
Yeah, they could do that. I just don't know if they take it off Stephanie, unless
I don't think so
then she jumps and she goes to chase Jade. But if Bianca comes back, it feels like her and Jade is like the natural Mania match. But I don't know if she's coming back. So like, what's the pivot there? I mean, Julia's not at that level yet, right? Like, if Becky,
to your point,
she's going to probably fit AJ, right?
Yeah. To your point earlier, why bring Bianca back if Liv is winning the Royal Rumble? So make her feel like a bigger star on a SmackDown in a Northeast town, right? Like,
and win the Chamber and then face Jade. They already said the Chamber match was for a title shot. So
yeah, give
Bianca could win the Chamber and face Jade. Yeah.
So
Trent asked about Jordan Grace versus Jade. That could be the backup, right? If Bianca's not back, maybe it's Jordan versus Jade, which they've kind of been.
But regardless, that should get a high profile SmackDown match in the next month or so. I think Grace has been phenomenal since entering the main roster. I thought that she wanted to get shined in this Royal Rumble match, and I felt that they wanted to kind of safely eliminate her as well. So, all right, my question.
We'll shout out real quick, Sol Ruka. I thought she looked really good. She made the most of her minutes that are out there. Had the two big soul snatchers spots. I do think they get a little reliant on like fighting on the apron in the women's Rumble. I feel like this is like every year they end up fighting on the apron for the end.
Justin, the size of them, like they're not going to be opposing over the top.
I know, it's just, break the streak at some point. You know what I mean? Like you can't do it every time. But I do think for all the great spots, they did make her look a little silly going for that soul snatcher on the floor. And I thought Io, that spot was very athletic and looked cool, but it also low key kind of made her look a little dumb when she let go of the rope with her foot and pull. Like there's no point of return at that point. Like once you let go of that rope, you know you're done.
And that was Raquel, right? Too.
No, it was Lash, wasn't it?
Excuse me, Lash. All right. So two more things. I want to talk about Lash and I want to talk about Tiffany. First, Lash. I think getting rid of Nia early in this Royal Rumble, showing her like she was still Nia Jax, the dominant force, was smart to go out there and have Nia go through all that. But then obviously it was to kind of pass that equity over onto Lash Legend. I thought Lash looked the part, was the part. And I want to look up her eliminations real quick, Justin.
She had a ton. I mean, she dominated. I'm not the biggest
fan
of her.
Justin, yeah. And she was in the final 5. And they
I'm
were
not the biggest fan, but it just may just be exposure for me at this point. But I was pretty surprised that she got that spot. And I guess I just hadn't realized like the stock they have in her right now. But on her, in her defense, like that's on me because I thought she did great with what she was given. Like none of it felt
lens, with the perception of her being whatever, and through your lens, you've changed your opinion to an extent.
Nothing felt forced. She didn't feel over her skis. She hit all the spots. Like it wasn't like, oh shit, like botch here, but like everything was smooth and cooked fine. I wouldn't have expected going in that she was going to be at that level of presentation, but she made it count, and that's what matters in the business. A lot of times, like make those moments count, those chances count, right? She made it count.
Yeah. All right. And then Tiffy, again, I don't want to go over Bianca again, but I felt that her reaction at 30 was still strong despite the Belair's got to be coming, right? And I thought that her star power shined. I liked the presentation that she brought to the Royal Rumble, and I liked how when she inevitably got eliminated, I liked how it was bang bang, right? So you weren't able to get invested in her,
Right.
and be like, oh, have that disappointment, because I think that would have hurt Liv. I liked how that made Liv more shy, and it presented Tiffy still as like kind of a star and a future opponent. Honestly, Tiffany could go for Jade. Tiffany has a pinfall over Jade in the past too that she could kind of lay
Yeah, they
her
can run
crown
that
on
back.
too.
I mean, I think Tiffy is what you're wanting out of Rhea at the moment. Like, she came out, the ton of change. She carries herself in that star persona and oozes the confidence of a megastar, and she looks the part. And to me, the mood changed when she got in the ring. Like it felt like, okay, Tiffy time now. I thought the outfit was one of the best out there. It was clean looking, and it was just like,
Yeah,
this is Tiffy. Like, she doesn't need all the shit. Like, she just comes out and kicks the shit out of you and looks great doing it, and then leaves. Right. So like, I think that helped her a lot as well. So and actually, I think there was some of that to Lash too. Like, I think her gear was like on point, fit her, like suited her well, was simple to the point and effective. And I feel like the women that really showed up the best had the gear designed to allow them to do so. And I think Lash was that way. I think Sol Ruka was that way. And I think Tiffy was that way. And even Liv. I mean, Liv, always looks great. But like, and I think Liv was that way too. And I think it helped them maybe just be more comfortable out there.
And to my point, very similar to the pandemic one. I don't want to. You kind of forget about the gear. So kudos to them for kind of being like, this vibe's horrendous. This storyline is literally bad. And they kind of that kind of went away, and you kind of settled in, and it felt like a typical Rumble, and you started overlooking all of the negatives, and they had a pretty strong finish, in my opinion. Justin, 3.25, 3.5. I thought it was pretty good.
I was going back and forth with Aaron on this because like we're usually in sync on stuff, but my Rumble baseline is a floor of 3.5. So I don't go below 3.5 on Rumbles unless it's like all-time bad Rumble. Like, so my floor, I start every Rumble at 3.5. So this was a 3.75 for me, which is probably like a 3.25 for you.
Ooh, I can't go that high. Yeah, I know the baseline. I get it, but yeah.
I've done every Rumble on the Rumble curve, so I'm not going to change now. So like my Rumbles range from like 3.5 to 5 pretty much. And like the all-timers are up there, and then the bottom of the barrel, like the real bad ones, go down to 3.25. So for me, a 3.5 to 3.75 is like back tier of Rumble matches. So this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
And I think the end, I was at 3.5. I had it typed in, and I went up on that last like 10 minutes with the starting with the power bomb on Rhea to eliminate her, which was nasty. I thought from there to the finish was really well done.
What I will say to the women's credit, right? There wasn't a lot of lightness that you've seen in other Rumbles where before it's just, you get where I'm saying, where there's there's holes. It didn't feel like there was a lot of girls in there at a time too. And they didn't feel like they were like super bad laying around and not doing a lot. It felt like everything was motion. They felt like girls were in the corner doing typical Royal Rumble stuff. And I can't really close my eyes and think of like 2 or 3 botches like you could in each Rumble. And it felt like it was a little bit more of a violent Rumble than a like tipping through the tulips and getting girls out Royal Rumble. So
like I said, my biggest issue right now, and it's not just the women's, it's both, is that I just feel like you're missing those big through line, like memorable moments and points. Like honestly, besides the Rhea elimination and the finish, like, and I guess Bree's entrance, I don't know, like what else really is going to stand the test of time when you look back? When we do another Rumble moment, if we do a women's Rumble moments countdown, like
probably the elimination of Rhea Ripley, that could be looked upon a bad.
Right. And the
Bella
finish.
Twins felt like they maximized their minutes, you know what I mean?
I know.
And Liv Morgan is triumphant. She's never like Michael Cole called it perfectly. She's no longer a bridesmaid. She's finally
she deserved. You knew they were going to give her one because they care too much about her as like
it could be
the person in the company.
And
she wasn't going to have none.
Excuse me. It could be the Judgment Day fraction, so on and so forth. Right?
They was never going to not give her one, and this was as good a time as any to have her do it.
Honestly, and we haven't mentioned Charlotte Flair a lot. I felt like I said that a lot of girls were active. She was active, but it's just very Chris Jericho-esque in his later years, if that makes any sense, with all due respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think just some of the star power is dimming a little bit for her. She definitely feels like Pedro 86. Like, I don't know. Like definitely like the former great kind of hanging around.
Chris Jericho-ish in the later years, right? So
yeah, she could probably still dial up a great
for an
match if
hour.
she needs
She was-
to.
yeah,
I mean, it was
she
only a
was
year
there.
ago. Her and Tiffy, I thought, had a really strong Mania match. So it's not like we're not that far removed from great stuff from her. But
Yeah. All right, so that's the Women's Royal Rumble. I did not expect to go 40 minutes, Justin, even though
that's a short card. It's all right.
Yeah. All right, Justin. Gunther versus AJ Styles in a career-threatening match. Gunther defeats AJ Styles for a technical submission. AJ passed out. Had AJ lost, he was forced to retire from in-ring competition. 24 minutes and 15 seconds.
I like this a lot. Like
Yeah.
I was pretty high on it. I mean,
I
it's
loved it.
Gunther.
Yeah.
It was a fitting match. Like we talked about this on the preview, right? About like, is AJ really going out this way in Saudi here in this? But like, I thought they did him right in the match. They gave him plenty of time to tell the story. He sneakily had the retirement year without having the retirement year under John Cena's nose, right? Over the last 12 months or so, he's kind of gotten his dream matches in big spots and kind of one last gasp of a push. Gunther is a career killer, is perfect. Yes. I like that they protected the sleeper again because that's building to something big, right? Whether it's retiring Brock in Minnesota or eventually someone breaking it and making them a star is going to be a big deal, right? When they do that. So I think protecting that was great. I thought the crowd was good for AJ. I thought I was worried going into it, like he wasn't going to get the moment he deserved, but I thought the standing ovation
placement at having this second.
Yeah. And the crowd reaction for the ovation after the match was great. I like the glove tease because it's kind of like, did he just put him back on so he could do the P1? Or is he kind of low key saying, like, I ain't done, right? Is he going to be on Dynamite Wednesday? Like, we'll see.
I hope it's TNA.
I know. There's a lot of rumors, though, about AEW. So we'll see where he ends up and what he does. But I went like 4.5-ish. Like I think it was right in line with the other top AJ matches from last year and like on par with like Cena, Gunther. I would have been funny to me if AJ smiled at the end.
He knew better. But I like how he kept I was worried that he was because he was like kept moving the hair out of the way. And I had to think Gunther moved his hair up.
No, he did at one point. Gunther moved his hair.
I was like, okay. But what I will say though, I love AJ laid his out. He left it out there, man. Mm-hmm. Like he gave Gunther all of his body, and of course he's trying to put him in the safe spots and so on and so forth. We're not going to talk about all that stuff, but it to that point, it felt violent. It felt grasping. It felt urgent from Gunther because he knows he's going to go into the Royal Rumble. He already in.
Yeah, he's trying to get this thing over with.
He's trying to get this over, and AJ's trying to grasp on to his fucking career. I thought that through line was fucking beautiful. Mm-hmm. I thought that Gunther really was like at an extra level with those chops. There was just like, oh my God. And I love how they set the floor when they went to the floor early on and he just fucking threw him to the floor into the desk. And I thought that set the tone for how this match was going to go with AJ grasping up to fall back and get up back. Justin, this was phenomenal. I don't want to go move for time, but I went 4.25 on their Raw match 2 weeks ago. I'm probably going to go a lot higher. I'm not going to go 5, but I'm probably going to go a lot higher. I thought this was and under the radar. I think the quality will be forgotten about, right? Because people are similar to Cena are upset how it went down. But with time, this is going to age phenomenally, and this should be on any of our lists.
Should be upset with how this went down. I mean, if AJ decided this was it, then it's it. I don't know how much better he could go out. Like they weren't going to have him win and then go to AEW if he isn't going to AEW. Like they're just not going to do that. Cena was different, I guess, because he's done. He's not going anywhere else. But if like AJ still could maybe show up somewhere, and you got to think about it. And Gunther's their golden goose right now. Like they're not going to have him lose there, just like he wasn't going to lose to Cena. So I thought AJ in 2 matches in 3 weeks went toe to toe with their ace at his age. And they gave him if you look back at his year, there's nothing to be upset about. Like they gave him all kind of showcase matches and moments. He delivered and they let him go out and have time against Cena and everyone else. And like, they gave him more than enough as like a farewell year for what he's given them.
To my point earlier, January has been an extremely strong month for the WWE on TV. If it's SmackDown having success for 3 hours for the most part, Raw hitting home run after home run, a lot of that is on the back of AJ Styles in this story here. The momentum of Gunther building up as well. So I'm curious what Gunther's doing heading into Mania. You can answer that later when we talk about at the end of the Royal Rumble, because I'm sure we'll go over Mania stuff there. But we'll talk about Gunther as we go on. But AJ Styles, even if it's done, it made it seem like there were tea leaves where he could continue, but if he didn't, I would also be shocked. He finds himself in a similar role to Shawn Michaels, and maybe even Shawn moves up or Shawn goes away, and I could see AJ in that role. Even if AJ was in that role for just Evolve to take some of the play off of Shawn, right? So
yeah, and I wonder if the gloves were a tease to give him a Mania match or something, but like it's hard to go off like to not let that be it. Now I guess it was so good.
I think he gets a TNA match.
Oh, he's like, if he doesn't go to AEW, they'll definitely do something in TNA. Like, I think it's given.
If it's Frankie, if it's Santana, if it's Leon Slater, if it's all three of them, you know what I mean? So we'll see.
I do think there's some smoke to the AEW stuff, though. Like, it feels like the rumors are fairly strong, and some of the wrestlers, I guess, were tweeting stuff out about it. And it sounds like there might be a money offer out there for him that it'd be hard to turn down for a run. So I don't know. It's tough. It's like part of me wants to say, well, you just had this great 10-year run, and you had this moment, like, go anywhere but there. But then I'm also like, whatever, go get paid, dude. You're awesome. Like, who cares? It's wrestling.
I'm curious what he would do. Maybe I think he would do like a 1 or 2 off. I don't think he's going to go there and be
full-time
TV star. You know what I mean? And if he is, if I'm Tommaso Ciampa, I'm like, motherfucker.
He's going to get tagged,
man. Right? So, TNA's signing a lot of good guys. They're building up that middle of the roster. If only they could kind of start connecting more. They got a pretty good roster. All right. Honestly, this is kind of the popcorn match in a way. This is a little disappointing. Honestly, it might be a gentleman's 3. That's Drew McIntyre defeating Sami Zayn in a singles match for the undisputed WWE Championship, 16 minutes and 15 seconds. It was coming off of a women's rumble with a men's rumble on deck, and then coming off the emotions of AJ Styles. It was like this match was almost impossible to be like a home run. It was a single up the middle with a broken bat, in my opinion. It was intense, especially in the closing minutes. I thought that Sami did a good job, like kind of drawing it in and played the babyface role extremely well. And it just felt like Drew was holding that 6th gear or that 5th gear. He was kind of just in 3, and it felt like Sami was kind of doing the grunt of the work. If that kind of makes any sense to you, but this was an impossible spot in a way as well. What did you think of this match? For saying gentleman's 3, am I being too harsh? Am I right? Where are you at?
I went 3 1/4. I think it was fine. Like, it's a tough spot because it felt very Brock and Bob Holly-ish, and like Sami wasn't going to win.
That's like a pick of the dick to Sami Zayn. Come on.
I love Sami, but it's like, did you think there was any chance he was winning the title?
No, I thought there was a little, but no, not really.
11 days, like they finally give Drew the win over Cody, and Sami wins in 11 days. Like, it's just not going to happen. I thought it was cool that they gave him the moment there, and all that. They hyped him up. It's a big deal, and that's just Sami's role. I agree. It felt like two guys that knew, like, all right, we know our spot here on the night, and we're not going to like empty the tank completely. I thought the power bomb on the table was good, and I thought the finishing sequence was fine. So, yeah, I mean, it was good. It was good enough. Like, I think it was a perfect Rumble title match where
if it was on a SmackDown, it probably would have been in a better spot on a dull SmackDown leading into this awesome main event. It probably would have had a better spot. Mind you, Justin, this is the second match in a row where you had massive babyface take an L too, so that's a little like kicking the dick to the crowd, which is also 1 a.m. when he takes the L too.
Well, that's the only thing that made me think, could Sami win? Because like, are they really going to have him and AJ both lose? But I think they rectify it with the main event. Yeah, I don't think we need to spend a ton of time here. It'll be interesting to see where Drew ends up for Mania and what they do. If he keeps the belt till then, if it's just going to be him and Cody, I don't know. But it was fine. It was Brett and Razor at 93. Is that better? Like that's what it felt like to me. Like, just a good challenger champion match. Champion outlasts the guy and moves along.
A little less. That 93 needed this match. That match. This match didn't really need it.
Well, and then when you compare it to last year, like Cody and KO, it's like not even in the same fucking universe as that. And they were
AJ Gunther was in that spot to be.
No, I'm not saying, but the title match, when you look at the title matches and how they stack up, or even I thought DIY versus Machine Guns was better than this too. Like, so. Yeah.
All right, Justin. We're here at the main event. It's the Men Royal Rumble. We were going in clumps of 5, but right now we're going to go in clumps of 1 and 2. Obafemi, phenomenal. Phenomenal entrance. He felt the part, looked the part, and that, the buzzword of aura, it was totally there. Like Eli,
you walk away from the show, he feels like one of the top 5 stars coming out of the show.
Even Eli, who was just like Dad, his entrance to NXT was awesome when we were there live. And, you know, it's all of that awesomeness right here, right now. So what did you think of the Braun Breaker angle? I thought it was fucking smart. I
As
thought it
someone
was.
who had number 2 in the pool, I was pretty pissed off.
No. Well, it was funny that they mentioned Braun Breaker was number 2 with the Adam Pearce thing, and then they showed that right before the match too, and then that added to the Oba Femi. Oh my fucking god!
Right.
Like this is the fucking future right here. Oba Femi,
but it also sets
Braun
up
Breaker.
the intelligence a little. I think it was actually well scripted because
absolutely
that's how the masked guy knew to attack him in that spot. Right, he was ready to go because it was revealed. Paul revealed that he was number 2. Right.
Yeah,
and I'll be curious if that comes up at all. Like, does Braun bitch at him for tipping the number and set up something like whatever?
I think that heat falls on Pierce. I think that heat falls on
probably.
Pierce.
Yeah, he's going to kick the shit out of Pierce. I know that obviously it's the tease is that it's Rollins and it's probably not going to be whatever.
I have a theory.
Well, how much of a theory? It feels like it's running toward Rollins and Braun probably at Mania. But I agree with you. I think if you're not going to have Braun win, you have 2 other options, right? He's the Iron Man, and it's him and Roman at the end, one-on-one. He's lasted an hour, and Roman just outlasts. All right, that's one option. 2 is you do something like this and just get him the fuck out of there, so he's not damaged at all.
I love number 2, and I love Braun Breaker. Like I think Braun Breaker is a can't miss prospect. I think he's phenomenal.
At some point that you have to deliver. Like this is what and I said this on the preview. You only get so many years. Next year is the year for him. Next year, and before you know it, someone else shows up. Oh fuck! Now we've booked an angle this way, and he can't win next year. Like at some point, you have to pull the trigger on him somewhere in here.
Well, I took this angle as an investment. It was a protection. You know, it was like his time isn't now. We're going to protect him, and I thought it was really.
You're not always going to get lucky. Then in a year, he could blow his. Like I'm just saying, like at some point, you have to take the chance and bet on. Like, okay, now is the time because if you keep kicking the can down the road. Something could change in any moment.
His time's not now, so why waste him in a Rumble or give him this moment?
No, what I'm saying they should make his time now sooner than they want. Like I wouldn't give him another 5 years. Like if he's not going to win this year, he should win next year. But I feel like we said that last year. Next year is the year. So like you can only say next year. It's like a young team that's like, well, next year they're going to break out, right? And then they kind of and then before you know it, all your guys on rookie deals are done, and you're going to reboot, right? And so I just don't want them to get to that point with Braun, where now it's like every year is the year. Next year is the year. It was the same with his fucking call up from NXT. Oh, next year he's getting called up. Oh no, hang on, he's still around. Oh, now he's getting called. Like they seem to like see a lot in him and present him strongly, but then like they don't know when to push him over the cliff to be the top guy. So I don't want to see them wait too long to do that. That's all.
I don't think I have confidence that they'll be fine. I have confidence he'll be fine, and this angle plays into that. All right, we're gonna catch up on the entrance here. Number 3 was Solo Sikoa, feeling nowhere near Solo Sikoa's upside, even though it's fine. He was in the right spot. Ray 4, number 8 all-time Royal Rumble competitor, my fucking ass. Rusev 5, oh my god, what was that? Matt Cardona.
It's funny because I did think with the women, they let a lot of them stay in longer. And I kind of joked here, was like, is it because they flew them across the globe, made them wear these outfits, and at least wanted to give them some rub and not just get eliminated in 30 seconds? And then the men, they flew Rusev all the way over there, put him out there, and he goes like 30 seconds. So it was like, I guess at least the women, they didn't do it to any of them, but like, it just feels like a little bit of, it wasn't necessary to do that. Like, let him get a few minutes in there to fly him all the way the fuck over there and then do that with him.
But anyways, I think this is a really good prelude to who would kind of get rid of Oba in the future, right? But yeah, Rusev was the biggest, like, oof. Rusev can't catch a break in either AEW. Yeah,
I would have put Miz there. That was a spot for Miz. Let him come in and get thrown the fuck out.
Well, I think maybe Oba gets like a Rusev match coming into it, or like whatever. But anyways, I thought Cardona looked the best here at 6. And then when Priest came last night, they said that Priest got his number. He looked at it and said, ugh. And then Truth looked at it and said, ugh. Right. So you kind of knew that Damian was coming out in a single digit, but I liked the prelude and I liked the presentation. And I don't think Priest looked all that bad heading into.
No, he was fine.
He looked pretty good, and where he maximized what mediocre spot that he had.
He's in pure like back end Razor Ramon days right now, where he's like too good to slide down the card too much, but he's kind of done probably as like being a world title guy. I think. Oba they went full 94 diesel, right? Mm-hmm. He cleans out a bunch of chum, and then you kind of get to the guy that stops the run, and then he just is in the match for a bit, right? And that's kind of what they did until the angle. So Drew kind of stopped the rally, and then it just became a match from there.
Priested, yeah. And then you get Javon Evans, who had a great Royal Rumble.
He was fantastic. Yep.
Mr. Iguana and Trick Williams to close it out at 11. Trick's response was phenomenal. I thought that was a great presentation, and honestly, that was all he really needed. He was in there for not long, maybe 5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah, he didn't do a ton,
but I think he maximized those 5 to 6 minutes, and he was made after that entrance. Mr. Iguana, whatever. I like that feels like so a year ago when he came. That whole.
It felt 2012-ish. Like it was just funny too. My buddy Victor, who doesn't watch wrestling either, that came over and he had him in the pool. He goes, "Who the fuck is this?" when he came out. But it's like, yeah, I mean, it's the Santino right of today, so it's fine to use the spot. I am surprised Carmelo Hayes wasn't in the Rumble, and you look at a couple of the guys they used
last night. So I guess that was his moment, right?
Whatever. Yes, but also Joe Henry is the other guy that I was surprised was not in.
Yeah, but anyways. Much better first 10 here. I thought that giving Oba the Brock of 2020, the Diesel push was extremely smart. Having Diesel stop it and kind of turn Oba into a guy was smart, maximizing the minutes. Rusev, Cardona, Ray, those guys, whatever.
By the way, we both screwed up Drew. I mean, I did it again. Damien, I called him Drew, you called him Diesel. So I think that tells you what the hell's going on.
Diesel spot, but
then you called him Diesel. Yeah, so I'm saying we both botched. Like, I don't know what that says for him as going forward, that neither of us can think of his name on the fly. But
hey, at least we had the right consonant, right? Like we have the right level, the right letter, right? So we were close enough. Yeah. All right, this is where I felt that the Rumble got really fun. Cody at 11. Watching how he got eliminated and when he got eliminated, I felt that putting him at 11 was extremely smart. Once you get past that Oba part of the Royal Rumble, and then you kind of have a reset once the guys were in the ring. The El Grande Americano and El Grande Original. Yep. I loved it. It was quick.
It was good to see Gable back, even though Grooney couldn't believe it was Gable because he had a beard. He did not believe it. I'm like, it's definitely Gable, man. I'm like, look at his body.
The beard threw it off. Like
the beard threw him off. The beard threw him off.
But I thought at 12 and 13 was a perfect time to do that.
Yeah, and even though the crowd did not really respond. And I think a little bit, I don't know if it's the Americana part of it that did it for them, but like I did think that came off flat. I'm glad they did it in the match, and I'm glad to see Gable back. I just thought it came off. Yeah. It came off a little cold. So I hope they redo it on Raw and have El Grande come out, and then Original comes out again and attacks him or something. Just like get the pop back. You don't think they're going to drag that out till Mania, though, right? Is that like a chamber match, maybe?
I think that'd be a AAA thing, honestly.
Oh, the Grandes?
Yeah. And then 14, Powerhouse Hobbs, Royce Keys. I thought that presentation was really good. I want to take a pause and talk about that as well. You get the Powerhouse Hobbs popping up for 5 seconds, and then it turns into Royce Keys. And Michael Cole did a great job of presenting him, and he felt this. He felt as good as he looked walking to that ring. Yeah,
it was a good debut for him for sure.
Very. And I thought he had a good Rumble.
Yeah,
he had a good Rumble. Touched a lot of guys. It was in there, like, because it's hard in a way too, because you got Brock in there, you got Oba in there, you got all those guys in them. For him to stick out, I felt that despite all the similarities or whatnot, I felt that he did a good job of sticking out as well.
Who threw him out? I forget. Was it Brock?
Yeah. No, it was it was the Vision.
Oh, right. Okay, that's right. Yeah.
It was the Vision, the 3 guys Vision. But then I like
to see a Reed Hobbs feels like a Mania match to me. Early night 2. That feels like something we could get.
That's your Mark Henry Ryback match from 23.
It feels like something you could get out of
right?
Yeah. Powerhouse showdown. 2 big guys.
All right. And this is where I felt like the Rumble started telling another chapter here and really got into the groove, what would bring us to the end of the night. And that's Austin Theory, 15, Bronson Reed, 16. I like the back-to-back Vision. 17, Ilya Dragunov. Ilya is a guy that maximized his minutes tonight, too.
Yeah, he looked great.
18, Lapaka. 19.
Lapaka. Oh my God, the accent there.
That was bad. That was pretty bad. And then
waiting for Keith to come out.
19 for Dragon Lee, and then 20 for Logan Paul.
I did put the mask on when Lapaka came out here in the house. So
respect. You mean Lapaka? Lapaka.
I was excited to see Lapaka. It's cool. Who would have thought he'd be in a Rumble? I know it's not the original, but still, the character would be in a Rumble. But again, that's another spot where, like, if you're not going to use Carmella, like, you know, you're going to use La Parca and Mr. Iguana instead of Carmelo
They
Hayes.
invested a lot in AAA. I prefer La Parca, whatever the fuck his name is.
Neither.
Now you got me fucking on the Boston hardness, but I prefer him over Mr. Iguana. I think he's a better wrestler and he's more entertaining or whatever.
Yeah, I would have had Parca and then Carmelo and have Iguana at ringside or something. Throw the Iguana in the ring. I don't know. Whatever.
So stupid. But I think we underrated this Rumble a little bit too, because we're here at 20 and I think we're having a good through line.
Then you didn't hear my grade yet.
I know. I thought, but like our sentiment on the show, right? Like we had two very strong matches with this match and the AJ, right? So it's just like,
Well, I got a big issue coming here, so we'll talk about it in a second. But
all right, we'll get to that issue when we get there. But we're through 20. I like the presentation of the Vision so far. I like getting the AAA guys in here, including La Parca, Iguana, fucking the Americanos, all that. I'm all for that. We got Powerhouse Hobbs.
I liked Reed coming in with the tsunami was really cool. He came right into the ring and off.
That was great. Yes, good. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's funny that we had all those building blocks kind of building up to 21 LA Knight, 22 Brock Lesnar. I think we go there and pause there. I thought LA Knight looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that he came out with intensity. His pop was on that, I don't want to say S level, but it was just under it. His pop was phenomenal, right?
Almost makes you wonder if they should have. He's another, like, I don't want to compare him to Braun because Braun's just a lot younger, but like Knight is one of those guys that it's like, oh, next time, and the next time never comes.
Yeah. But to that point, he's still over. He's still
but for how much? At some point, it's like RVD. Like, you're gonna give him the title 4 years after he's relevant, you know?
Maybe. But anyways, I felt that LA Knight presentation was phenomenal. The reaction to what he got from that Saudi crowd was really, really strong. And I like the intensity that he brought to the ring with the Vision guys. And then he eliminated Austin Theory. He eliminated Bronson Reed. And he stuck around into the big dogs later in the match too, star power wise. So, or Dolph Ziggler, they're going to, Ziggler, get out of here. Jeremy, what's up, buddy? I thought LA Knight maximized what he had, what was given tonight.
Yeah, and I don't want to say Jay shouldn't have won last year because I think it
worked in the moment, but yeah.
But you look at like last year and this year, and I think this year too. Like, I get why Roman, would be the winner, what they want to do, but this felt like a spot to look at Knight, like kind of a softer Rumble crowd.
It was a good reset too with the return.
You got the return, not a strong field. You got Punk in there who's won 2 out of the last 3. Like, he's probably not winning again, doesn't need to win again. So Reigns is kind of and with Braun out, Reigns is kind of the only guy in the way. Reigns can get to where you need to get him without winning the Rumble. So I think Knight winning here and facing Drew at Mania would have actually been the way, like, I probably would have gone with this one and finally cash in on his popularity. Coming off the injury, you don't have a clear-cut path. Roman could win the chamber and go face Punk. And if this is building toward Cody, Drew again, like, I don't know. Like, I'd rather Drew just keep the belt for a bit. So have him beat Knight at Mania instead and keep it for a bit. Like, he's not going to beat Cody again. So now you're talking a edge run for Drew for a few months, or we're going to do someone else anyway. But I think it would have been a good year to let Cody do something else and get him out of the world title picture at Mania for a year, and do Knight, Drew, and Roman Punk Night 2, close Night 1 with the women or something else, whatever you want to do. But like,
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Can you get Austin to come fight Cody? I don't know. Like there had to be something they could do.
Yeah, Cody definitely feels like if there was ever a celebrity match, this is his time to kind of do that too. All right, what did you think of Brock at 22? I found it interesting that, and I wonder if it plays into anything, Justin, that Paul Heyman didn't come out with Reed. He didn't come out with Logan Paul. He didn't come out with Austin Theory. He came out with Bronson Reed. He was shell-shocked that all that happened. And then at 22, he was all chummy with his boy Brock Lesnar. Now, I understand that he's an advocate for Brock Lesnar, and there is a soft alliance between them. They didn't really fuck around with Brock in the Royal Rumble tonight. I think Theory and Reed were eliminated right before, and I don't think Paul had anything to do with Brock. What did you think of the presentation of Brock? The pop was
the pop was great. The spot was perfect. I do think
the teases were great too with Oba and leading into it.
yes, they like started to face off, and then someone. I did think Miz was good in that spot where he, slid in the ring and then came back out. And then they teased twice, and then they finally did it. I'm glad they delivered on it instead of not delivering on it. But Brock's elimination is my biggest issue of this show of this.
All right, we'll get to it when we get to it. We'll get to it when we get to it.
Okay.
23 The Miz, Jabroni Central here. 23 The Miz, 24 Ray Phoenix, and then Jey Uso at 25 is a good time to spot to yeet. So Miz and Ray Phoenix, like.
All right, we'll talk about 1 sec. Tomato says Cody title run, then heel turn. We'll see. I do think, Ray. I don't get why, and I haven't gotten it for the last year, why Ray Phoenix is on SmackDown and Dragon Lee is teaming with Penta on Raw. And I like Dragon Lee, but why?
So I think there's an underlining language where the Lucha Bros couldn't team for a full year because they weren't announced to a team in AAA, not the WWE, at the end of 2025. They were, is there some language with their AEW release? Maybe.
I mean, we'll see. It's the year now, so we'll see, I guess.
Justin, is it this? Like, do they not have the naming of the Lucha Bros? Do they not have the licensing yet? Is that not released?
Name, whatever. The Lucha Bros.
Are they not released yet? The name is pretty important, right? If they're going to play into the history.
No, what's important is that they're way better as a team.
No, I'm not wrong. I'm not disagreeing, but I'm just saying there's got to be some factor why that, you know what I mean? I'm just
saying, Ray Phoenix feels completely lost. And I'd be fine with them as a trios. Keep Dragon Lee around. But, all right, so here's my low-key Mania banger match that I want. I don't want the multi-man deal. I want the Lucha Bros. And I want two guys that were not on the show. And that is Fraxium in a fucking ladder match. Balls out, 15-minute, 4-man, TLC, whatever it is, and just let them fucking rip for 15 minutes and go insane, the four of them. I think that's an all-time Mania match right there if you do it. Now, I know they're more likely to do a multi-man, whatever, but
yeah.
Or
you're going to get the Wyatt 6 in there or some stupid shit, right? Yeah.
Or you give Cody a partner at Mania. You have Penta turn, bring in Ray Phoenix, and you do Cody at a partner versus Lucha Bros like AEW did early in their run. Huh?
That's far-fetched for a Mania. How cold Ray Phoenix is, I don't know about that.
Eat him up. You got 2 months.
I like
Penta's hot. Cody's hot.
I really like the 2-on-2 ladder Fraxium stuff. I think that plays, honestly. Yeah.
That'd be huge.
That would be huge.
Yeah. And you could set it up as Penta and Dragon Lee against Fraxium, and Dragon Lee gets hurt. And then you reunite Lucha Bros at Mania for their first match together in WWE.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You get the pop. So yeah, I don't hate that. All right, Justin. Jey Uso before Jey Uso was announced or whatever. This is where we got the Brock Lesnar return. What was your issue with the Brock? Because I liked how they eliminated Brock. Let's just say I accept how they eliminated Brock. What was your issue? Let me see.
I had to ask who eliminated Brock because they're cutting to Jey Uso. The crowd is distracted. You don't even know it's Brock Lesnar getting eliminated should be one of the biggest spots in the Rumble. And
I agree with that.
That segment should be built around it. Andre the Giant getting eliminated by Demolition, right? The match is paused around it so we can see them clothesline him out of the ring, right? Undertaker getting thrown out of some of these. It should be built around that spot. He's your number 1 and number 2 biggest guy in this match, right? Him, Roman, and Cody, in whatever order you want to say. He's a dominant Rumble performer. To have 2 guys throw him out while Yeet is playing and the crowd is completely fucking distracted. So maybe they botched the timing and they went late.
That's what I was going to say.
Most likely they didn't hit their spot. Then wait. Just fucking wait till he comes in. Because to me, it completely diminished Brock by having him go out almost off camera.
It did feel weird. I'll give you that. It had to be a mistiming thing.
It felt like Shannon Moore getting thrown out. It was oh, Brock is out. It's what? When did that happen?
Or Justin, is there any way they fucked it up? 1 or 2, is there any way that they distracted it on purpose and they thought that the yeeting would maybe in a way distract?
To me, that's stupid. If that's what they did, it's fucking stupid. But
I'm just trying to talk it out why, because
okay.
I agree. I don't care. like it doesn't accept me as much because I like the presentation for LA Knight and Cody to eliminate.
That was fine.
I like that part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I would just have done it when you can be focused on it, even a little bit later in the match. Like when it's
Brock
a little bit
only in
there
for what, 7 minutes, but he felt all of that 7 minutes. So it's like Brock's like, all right, looking back to 2023, he's like, I'm going in and I'm doing my fucking thing. I'm getting on my plane back to Saskatchewan. I'm out, right?
Yeah, the moment felt.
Is there any way he fucked up the timing because they gave him a lot, or what do you think?
No, I think either they just went late and they didn't realize Uso was starting up, or they booked it that way and it was just stupid. I just think it diminished the moment for those guys. It felt very unearned. Like it's just suddenly there goes Brock. It's like I literally had to ask, and I'm watching the match. I'm sitting here. I'm not distracted. We got people here, but I'm talking.
I agree with your sentiment. I'm just not. I don't think I'm gonna like. I don't think it would deflect for the match for me to get like.
But it speaks out for me the problem with these rumbles. It's like that we're not focused on these moments to carry the. It's just like another elimination. Becky just gets thrown out. It's like the big names getting thrown out should be the biggest deal of the match, right?
Yeah, but I like the pacing so far, and I've liked what they've done. I'm gonna put that on Brock. Honestly,
they might have fucked it up. They might have went late. But to me, once that yeet hits, you got to back off. Like you can't do it while he's coming out because that's the one entrance where everyone's fucking distracted. Everyone else, who cares? If it's anyone else, it's like whatever. But the whole crowd is doing something, and you have your biggest star thrown out haphazardly while the crowd is completely distracted.
Now, is there any way that Cody was concussed because Brock was throwing Cody around like a fucking madman? He gave Cody like 4 suplexes.
The spot that I think almost really fucked him up was the German and who was in the way.
I think it might have been Knight was on the ground.
Someone was in. No, it was
on the way. It was at this corner pocket. Yes.
Yeah, was it Penta? Was it Knight
right here? What's that?
Yeah, it was not Penta. La Park. It was someone like that. It was someone random was in the way, and he went to German him, and he had to turn and dump him on his shoulder, so he didn't German him on the fucking guy behind him. And it looked like that's where Cody got banged up because he landed hard on his shoulder in that spot.
And that was the ring post where Brock got eliminated. So perhaps something got a little wonky there, or whatever, right? Maybe Cody needed a minute.
I just think it's a big spot of the match that didn't hit
but
the note.
I love the idea of giving.
Yes, Trent. It was Javon Evans. He was in the way, and Brock was probably afraid he'd kill him if he threw Cody on top of him.
Yeah. But I love the idea of LA Knight and Cody Rhodes teaming together. I love that for LA Knight historically, that you eliminate Brock Lesnar, even if you're
the Lucha Bros match, bro. Lucha Bros versus Cody and LA Knight. Give it to me.
Honestly, LA Knight and Cody would be a pretty good match.
That's a big match.
I mean, pretty good tag team, right?
What if they did a 3-way with Cody, Knight, and
Cody's
Brock?
not in the tag division.
No, 3-way. Cody, Knight, and Brock at Mania. 3-way match.
All right,
Instead of Cody Drew.
Well, this is what I thought was going to happen because we know we all the yeeting bullshit. I thought Brock was going to fucking murder Jey Uso.
Yeah,
I thought that, and I was just like, oh, okay. So the music of the yeeting and shit that distracted Brock. Brock looks furious outside, but maybe he was like shoot furious because someone fucked up the spot. And I thought he was going to murder Jey Uso, and that was the plan. And I was like, that's pretty good plan. And I'm all for it because you don't have to have a Jey Uso in Brock Lesnar match. You really don't, right? Yeah. So I thought that.
I did like what they did with Roman doing the rollback on and then he slaps with the face or whatever.
All right, so Jey Uso 25, Roman Reigns 26, Jacob Fatu 27. Very bloodline meat and potatoes there in the mid-20s. I thought this was again a strong portion of the Royal Rumble. And honestly, again, this Rumble is like ticking up, in my opinion. I think this is a strongly booked Royal Rumble so far.
Yeah, Roman got a huge pop, of course. I really liked him running it back with Jey. And it was a good callback to SummerSlam where he ran it back and was into it. So Jey, why wouldn't Jey believe him? So he's like, you fucking moron. Like, this is the Royal Rumble. We don't do this shit. So it was almost like smacking your cousin, like wake up call. So I thought that was good. Because he didn't eliminate him. He just like smacked him. Like, fucking pay attention. Yeah, I thought Roman was great. I kind of think Jacob should have came out earlier because we talked about this on I don't know if it was the draft or maybe it was our Mr. Rumble, how you kind of get those guys that they bring in late but don't end up getting a big run because it's late. RVD,
O2, Booker
T. Like these guys that would come in at the end and then they're only in for 6 minutes and did nothing. I thought Jacob could have actually benefited from being earlier.
When you're done, I want to that. Yeah. So a counter to that, I do agree with your sentiment, but I don't think it plays into the current story that he has.
No, I know,
with
but he
Cody.
just wasn't out there a ton. But I like Cody attacking him and all that. Like that was fun.
Yeah, because if you're gonna boil over that story that they have with Cody, that means you kind of have to boil over and get to the point of the elimination and all that stuff. And it wasn't time. So to sacrifice the presentation of Jacob Fatu in this Royal Rumble, I don't want to sacrifice that story because I think that story is building rather
also
well.
Another Mania option, Cody and Jacob, obviously.
Yeah, I think the two as well. I wouldn't mind getting Drew out of the way, and Drew can honestly, even if they went Drew Roman, I don't think I'm mad at that.
They're doing a Roman Punk. To me, that they think that's a dream match. I think they're doing it.
No, and I agree too. I agree as well, but I'm just saying we'll get there at the end. All right, Penta 29, Randy Orton, or Penta 28, Randy Orton 29. Again, I think they're trying to give Penta more by entering him late, but I think he would have benefited more if
another guy earlier
in the La Parker match and swap him and La Parker and then have Penta last a little longer. You get the La Parker dance, and then La Parker can get thrown out by.
I agree. I think Penta that late was kind of whatever at that point.
Well, Michael Cole did a good job of framing him as the Iron Man last year, and now he has a good draw. He still did make the final 7, right? And that's still.
Yeah, I know. I think he can become more spotlight. Trent thinks maybe Cody, Drew, Jacob. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about Mania at the end here. Let's close this match.
And Orton always gets a big pop. I thought he looked good. He did fine.
Him at 29 was perfect because, is it going to be Jericho or who is it going to be at 30? I thought Orton had his shoes on tonight. I thought Orton sometimes could have a back seat. And honestly, it could be Fatu versus Drew, and you could get Cody versus Orton for a non-title too as well, because you have the Chamber. Randy has been super focused since returning in 2026 on that world title, and he's even said that he's willing to put his friendship aside with Cody as well. And Cody still has his blinders on with Fatu around the title too. So I would easily see Cody getting eliminated from an RKO, and then we can kind of be like, all right,
maybe that's where D'Amato mentioned heel turn for Cody, could have come off of him and Orton.
Yeah, you could be friends at WrestleMania, friends at respect into WrestleMania. Like, why is our friendship bringing us to a match at WrestleMania? There's no stakes, and then Cody's like, all right, fuck this shit, I'm getting refocused, and then whatever, right? That makes a little bit more sense. They can even put a number one contendership for Backlash on the line or something. Yeah. Something stupid, give something stakes there. Cody can afford to be on the lower card at a WrestleMania.
I think it's the year to do it.
Not the tag division, Justin, but yeah.
He's had 3 years in a row main eventing.
Yeah.
2 out of the 3 winning the Rumble. Upper mid card, big match feels like a good year to do that and throttle him down a little bit. He doesn't need to be in the title match every year. It's going to start to become Cena over again, where everyone's like, okay, this is fucking stupid every year. He's here in the main event.
All right. So Penta's out 7th to last. I like the elimination. I thought it was creative. I like how he goes for his whatever movie in the corner, and Orton just fuck you out. I thought that was really, really cute. 6th from the top is Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes finds himself eliminated 6th from the top. Justin, what'd you think of Drew coming out, giving a Claymore on the side? I thought that was a good way for Drew to get a spot coming off the win and to kind of get a receipt.
I like it because it's a good fuck you to Cody. I think it protects Cody and getting eliminated. I'm glad they didn't do it at the end because that would have felt like a weak way to have the winner win. So,
mind you, it plays into the fact where Drew McIntyre in the contract heading into the SmackDown 3 Stages of Hell match had it put in by Nick Aldis that Cody would not get a rematch if he were to lose. And then Cody was the first one to announce for the Royal Rumble that he's doing this old school and winning the Royal Rumble to get back his world or his WWE Championship. So Drew, your WWE Championship is keen.
Yeah. So that story to me makes you think Cody's going to win the Chamber instead and then fight Drew Mania. I mean, that probably is where they're headed. I wish they'd just be more creative than that and not do it.
Yeah, but I think that's the through line in the story of why that elimination happened. Because what would be the merit for Drew McIntyre to do that besides the
he wants to keep Cody from getting the title shot, which makes me think they're doing a Cody title shot. But I liked the elimination. I liked him being involved. I liked them not doing it last. And it's a good way to protect Cody as well. So
yeah, I think, but I'm saying they're investing in TV times with the stories and they're outplaying them here. And I think that's a strong part of the TV show as well. All right. 5th to last here was
the way to mention 30 was Gunther. Gunther comes out at 30.
Yeah, I'll put Gunther. We're going from 30, and then 5th to last here, Fatu was eliminated again. I think we agree now, or I get you wanted him to come in a little later, have a run, but him going out right after Cody with being from Roman was smart.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then Uso was eliminated as well before that too by his cousin Roman.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever there.
Yeah, that's fine. It's right after. So back to back, Roman eliminates both cousins, Fatu and Jay, and then Jay, to his presentation when he entered the Rumble, he's not serious right now in a way too. It's like you got.
Well, that's why I feel like Roman slapping him was like, or clotheslining him was kind of the point. Like, why are you fucking around? Like, because you won last year, now you don't care anymore. Like, it almost like stop being a clown, you know.
All right, what did you think of Logan Paul being in the Final Four? This is like a thing.
Yeah, I mean, and I think he's believable enough that any year they could do it. Like, I mean, would it have been a big shock if he won? And
is it going to be like some Liv Morgan thing where he's always the bridesmaid and then he finally does it? Maybe?
I think they just trust him. He's a name. He's athletic enough to like pull off some stuff, and
it low key gets some heat. You know. And is there any merits to him lasting the longest out of the Visions with Brock Lesnar included as well?
Yeah. Maybe
because Logan's story heading in was he was leading the charge of Braun Breaker getting help from the Vision to win the Royal Rumble.
Right. Yeah.
So is he a part of the crew that maybe attacked Breaker? Is he a part of it? Is he
trying to get him out of there?
Side? Right. So I think there's low-key stuff here. All right. Jeremy Nichols, Logan Paul has really impressed me with his work so far. I may not like him as a human, but as a pro wrestler, he gets it. Yeah, Jeremy, I agree. He's a natural heel, and that comes across extremely well on WWE.
Yeah, he's been great in the ring. And I mean, he's a consistent part of the roster now, too. He's not like just a guy who comes and goes like he did early on. Like, I mean, he's on TV.
The best part about him now is, and the Vision is helping, is the association being around people, is he feels like a wrestler, not an outside trying to pretend like a wrestler.
He just feels like he's part of the show.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's fine to have in the Final Four. There's no qualms there.
But I think there's a lot of merits into the story. Again, this Rumble was well built. January was a phenomenal year, a phenomenal month for the WWE on TV. They were ready for the Royal Rumble. They presented a bunch of guys with stories, and those stories played out strongly, right? So I think that they are kind of back in their groove a little bit low-key wise as a whole. I think the pushback might be the result from the things. But now we're at the final three. Randy Orton is eliminated 3rd to last here. Justin, again, a legacy spot. He's refocused. He's trying to be the guy that has the 2nd most world titles of all time, and he's searching for 13 or 14, whatever that number is now, right? So I think Orton, to his pop, feels like a big star, is a big star, and should have a big match at WrestleMania. I like the Orton-Cody match idea now more than ever.
Yeah, I think Orton Cody could work, and I think Logan in the big spot to me would make sense. Because I was actually, one spot I was going to go with you is to say this may be a good year too to do a surprise challenge for the title at Mania. So like, if it depends on what they see in Drew, right? Is Drew going to retain?
Right? Yeah.
If Drew's going to retain at Mania, you could give him like a random challenger and let him win, right? You don't need to soup it up. You already have Roman Punk as your big match. And like, I know this is going to sound kind of crazy, but like, Drew, Javon Evans, like, could that be like a really cool?
They had moments tonight. And back in the day, Justin, they had that NXT match, which Orton was really, really excited about, right? They just find themselves on opposite brands. Not that matters nowadays, though.
No, McIntyre, not Orton.
Oh, McIntyre Evans, not Orton. Nah, that's too young. Even though they made Evans, they made Evans look good tonight and presented him like the future. But I don't think.
I'm just saying, like, if there's ever a year to do a surprise guy, Javon somehow wins the chamber.
So the chamber is Cody, Fatu, Orton, Lemon Pepper Steppers. There's another Priest and Evans, but Evans is on Raw, so he'd be in the Raw chamber.
So find a way to get him over there. They make a trade. I'm
just
saying, like,
they do from the Raw brand 3 guys, and from SmackDown it's
you could do that too.
Or Fatu, Orton, and Cody, and from the Raw brand, I think they did that last year. Honestly, it's Evans, and then fill in 2 guys.
Yeah, and then you have Evans, like it's down to him and Cody, and Orton takes out Cody or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And like that sets up your Cody Orton. We get the big shock coming out of Chamber like we did last year with the Cena heel turn. This year it's Javon Evans getting the crazy push, and then you have a cool Apollo Rocky match at Mania where Evans comes up short, but star maker match for him in a cool spot. It doesn't have to close the night. You can have it to start the show or something. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to say it feels like a year that could go out of the box. Like,
and honestly, athletically, I kind of like that for Drew too. Out of the box, if we're in a booking meeting, I'm writing that in the erase board, and I'm not erasing it right away. I'm like letting that simmer and seeing.
I think Roman Punk is big enough
to
carry night 2 that you can experiment elsewhere. Like, I think it's a big enough match. It's kind of a dream match. The two top guys of 2 areas. Like, to me, you can sell the show on that being your night 2.
Yeah,
and then experiment otherwise.
Well, what would you rather have? Would you rather have Fatu versus Drew, or would you rather have Javon versus Drew?
Javon. I would rather do Cody Fatu in like a crazy match or whatever, no holds barred match.
Then Orton's left on the side, and then you go Orton whatever, like Orton Priest
rematch. Oh. Yeah, whatever. You find something for Orton. He's easy. Orton's plug and play. Like, he can fight anyone. It's good. You'll get your 10 minutes. It'll be the crowd will love it, and then he's out. Like, you can do whatever you want with him. I mean, he's easy.
I think Javon is interesting, but it's just a little.
They're not going to do it. There's no way they're going to do it. I'm just saying.
I'm interested, but I think there got to be a better option, right? But
I'd rather see that than Cody Drew again, honestly. Like,
yeah. All right, D'Amato, if you're still here, text me because I gotta. I know you already played this, but I saw this. Look at that picture of D'Amato right there on the bottom left. Stud.
Yeah.
D'Amato, text me because I have something I gotta tell you. All right. Final 2. Gunther comes in at 30. I like the limp. Selling the match, setting the presentation. Let's talk about Jericho right here. Did you anticipate Jericho? Or did you think it was Gunther? Because I thought that they announced that Gunther wasn't going to be in it yesterday in the pre-show panel.
Yeah, I thought someone had said he wasn't. And then during the match tonight with AJ, Cole said he's in the Rumble. He declared for the Rumble. So he did say it. So I knew he was coming at 30. So it really came down to Orton. And we were counting here. We're like, all right, 6 guys left. We got this guy, that guy. We were assuming Carmelo. He never showed up.
He never showed up either. That was weird.
We knew Penta. We knew Fatu. So we're like, all right, like, is probably not Jericho at this point because we knew Gunther was coming. Again, I'm okay with it because I do think seeing how that show played out and that crowd, he probably gets a pop because Brie Bella got a pop. But, like, I think the problem with Rumble returns for something like that is it can get lost, especially at 29. And he wasn't going to win, right? So his big return is he comes out at 29 in front of the Saudi crowd and then he gets eliminated by Roman Reigns like 5 minutes later. So, like, if you're not going to have him be like number 1 or be number 30 and win, I think not having him is a better option. Like, if he's there, I'd have him be number 1, get the moment, get the pop, everyone accepts it, and then he gets eliminated, set up his Mania match.
To your Javon point, he just put it right there. LA Knight wins the chamber. LA.
That's your other option. Do something like that. Like,
how do we
give me someone that said? And I think I said that earlier. Like, LA's if he's not going to win the belt, let Drew beat him and roll on as champion. Like, I think that was exactly.
You don't eliminate Brock Lesnar in a way, and like they don't give you that for nothing.
No,
you know what I mean. So
I mean, we could get Brock LA Knight.
Right. So what I will say though, what'd you say, Brock and who?
LA Knight.
I kind of like that. I don't hate that. All right.
Or the 3-way. You get Cody, LA, and Brock. I think that's possible. That's a big Cody match too, like not being in the title.
All right. On paper, if I told you, Justin, that you're going to have Gunther versus Roman Reigns in the final 2, and then you can think back, the Royal Rumble 2023. Wow, Gunther and fucking Cody. That was a phenomenal stretch. The 2007 Royal Rumble, Undertaker, Shawn. Fuck. Like, they hadn't touched forever. Cody and Gunther, the first time touching was that Rumble. Roman and Gunther, the first time, like, prolonging touching, they went 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That was
I think Gunther had already gone a half hour. And I know he's like
I get that too.
So I think he's already tired. I think, and again, I'm going to say it for the last time. Probably not the last time, because I can make my Mania point. The Saudi shows to me for the last few years have felt very much like get in and get the fuck out before we get detained. And so to me, it felt very much like, and Crown Jewel felt this way too. We're done. We're off the air. We're out. There's no post shenanigans. There's no after bell shit. It's like it very much feels like
fireworks. Just
get home and get out. And it felt like that on a lot of these shows. And this one felt like that to me too. It was like get home and get out. There wasn't a prolonged thing with Reigns. We had the fireworks and then he was out. Like there was no long showdown, drawn out match. I do think there's 2 reasons. One, I think Reigns just hasn't wrestled a lot. I think he's probably going to get his win back, right? And 2, I do think Gunther was probably a little worn out from that match, and he's selling the calf anyway. So I don't think they were ever going to do another prolonged fight with them. I don't think it's in the cards given who the 2 guys were in that setup. But
I know, but we've just talked about an extremely. Well, I'm just talking about like we're trying to maximize our.
Oh yeah, give me 10 minutes and make it a moment. We didn't get the moments.
So psychology wise, all that stuff, the story, all that stuff doesn't play into it, but it could have been a better Rumble is that why we have that little bitter taste in our mouth? Because I think we just reviewed a phenomenal Royal Rumble. Not a phenomenal, but I think a baseline great.
Are you drafting this if we read the draft now?
Well, Aaron draft 2023. I thought this was a more watchable Royal Rumble, but I think 2023 had a better finish. Right. And so 2023
and it had a good through line with Gunther going bell to bell.
Yes. Yeah, but I think there was time. You had the Sheamus stuff too, for sure, right? But I feel that this was more jam packed. You got more out of this Royal Rumble. Was this? I think that. Well, yes, I would have drafted it over the 2 shitty women. Like you guys drafted women's matches. Like I get it. Like maybe the only one you should have been drafted is yours. Maybe like I thought the 2024 one was horrendous and it got drafted in the 3rd round, but. Should it get drafted? I don't know. You probably need a little bit more time to like dissolve it and see how things play out, of course. But I feel that we probably start the show if you have a Gunther and Roman showdown and you get like more juice out of that. Then our juice would probably want us to fucking hammer that right away, like we should have hammered Jey Uso right away last year, right? Instead of being like, all right, let's play with the Rumble, let's have our conversation about the whole night and see and let the conversation build with our momentum and then see how we feel about the show.
And we're not questioning the winner this year, right? Like last year, we're coming out of it thinking, right, was Jey the right choice? You had Cena there, you had Punk, like you had a lot going on, and you go with Jey. So I think that was a lot of the conversation last year coming out of those shows was like an Uso one. Not that he didn't deserve it, but that was the talking point, right?
No doubt.
Whereas now it like Roman was the expected winner. And I think like when you look at the night as a whole, I think that I'm not against the obvious winners when it's an obvious year to have an obvious winner. Austin 98, Michaels in 96. Like this is Brock in 03.
This would be an obvious winner. But to the point I was going to make is I even said this back in November when I had Ibu on. I said Roman Reigns is up in May. So he's contractually obligated to go through May, which is WrestleMania. So he's probably through WrestleMania. I would take Roman Reigns, if he's going to re-sign, I would make him sign all those dates that he's going to sign for 5 years, but I would jam-pack him into 2 years, and I would have him go on another run in those 2 years. He's not going to Hollywood. It took Cena 6 years to break through and to get to Hollywood full time. 6, 7, 8 years for Cena to break through. It took The Rock fucking a bunch of time to break through to get to Hollywood from a full-time bass. He's not going to Hollywood in the next 2 years. So give him the per deal contract that you would give him for 5, but jam-pack it into 2 to 3 and maximize his fucking minutes. The Roman Reigns returns oh my God, Roman Reigns returns. That fucking shit dissipate. That shit feels less and less.
It's going to stop meaning more when it's,
and it's Roman
every 3 months Reigns. He's gone again, then he's coming back.
It's Roman Reigns. He's main evented 11 WrestleManias. He has Mount Rushmore potential, to be frank. Here we are, even if we're in the 7th, 8th inning of his career, he has that big upside just due to the volume. But Roman Reigns in 21, 22, 23, 24, those years, he was a full-time guy.
Yeah.
Or at least presented as a full-time guy where his appearances could build momentum. In the last year or since losing the title, his appearances have been flash in the pans. They mean shit because he's going away right away. So they need to fucking pony up and get the deal done where he's a full-time guy. I get it. His kids are a little bit older now, so to speak, or whatever, but pony up, like get the appearances down. And clearly his tone with McAfee was contractually, there's some beef there. And he was really selling his value. I don't give a fuck about the money, TKO. If I'm TKO, I want the fucking
That's the guy you need. Yeah. You don't want him going.
I want the current day dates. If it's going to mean anything, the current day dates need to be there because he proves how much of a fucking moneymaker he is and a game changer he is if he's here on a consistent basis.
Yep. No, I agree. And I guess you've committed now that he's going to Mania, but like, are you going Punk over Reigns unless he signs? I mean, you have to. And that's like kind of a crazy finish. You're assuming going in, Reigns is winning that match, right? Like he's probably not losing the Mania main event to Punk, losing 3 in a row. But if say he doesn't sign, do they pivot and not do Punk Reigns? Do you do Punk Drew, or do you do a 3-way Punk Reigns and someone else to get someone else involved? Like if he's done and he doesn't resign and he's out the door, or do you just have Punk over Reigns strong and then the night is your guy? I don't know, maybe.
I think it's interesting that both of those guys were in the main event of night 1 last year and lost. So it's not like, all right, your turn last year, my turn this year, right? So I think the contract has to do a big part with it. I'm just not interested in part-time Roman Reigns being your world champion. You know what I mean? And I can see the angle where it's just like he shat on that Seth Rollins belt when he was the tribal chief, the 4-year champion. I would like him to be like, yeah, I shat on this belt. Watch me fucking make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is Netflix, and I got the B belt. It's going to be the A+ belt.
Well, I guess Triple H did on the post show proclaim that this is now the beginning of a new era of WWE. So whatever that means,
Triple H.
I don't know what that means, but I'm just saying, could it be something along those lines, like wherever they're headed? Because I mean, he's just
trolling us. That's what he's doing.
I know it's a new era. You just had Roman Reigns win the Rumble. Like, I don't know. And again, I mentioned earlier, like having the predictable winners. Like Liv was fairly predictable on the women's side. You never like it could have been
back and forth though. Yeah,
you kind of left the night with no world title change, 2 predictable Rumble winners, and you knew AJ was losing. So you did have a fairly predictable show in place when you promised a bunch of surprises and craziness. Now I get it; it's Saudi, and they very rarely do big things or change in Saudi. So to wrap up my point from the beginning, as we close out here, and I went 4 1/4 on the men's Rumble match. So to me, that's like I said 3-5 is my floor, so you can figure out the math. 4 1/4 is like a very good Rumble.
I'm a mark. I'm going to watch it again and probably knowing what's happening, watch it make sense, right? To give it the official grade, I'm probably a 4, maybe 4 1/4.
So last year I went 4.5,
and last year I went 4 1/4.
So. Yeah, so I was a little bit higher. In Rumble 04, I went 3.5. So I liked it.
Wait until Chad sees. Wait until we have our own little discussion with Chad. But wait until he sees.
Oh no, he's already coming in. He's already coming in hot.
He's coming in hot. Where I'm like, 3 1/4 for the women's. He's gonna be like, that shit was 1.
No, he already said 7.5. Blue skies gray. Coming in 7.5 on the show.
And I think I stand by 7.5.
I'm probably in the 6.5. I'm in the classic JT 6.5 bucket. Like it's a very good show.
Yeah.
Again, my issue continues to be their baseline has risen, and it's no fault of their own, but they have risen their floor to the point where now the expectation is here, not here anymore, right? So I think this show, like 5 years ago, is probably like, oh fuck, great Rumble, right? Because the floor was lower coming out of the pandemic and even those bloated years in 18, 19, the floor was just lower. Starting in 22, 23, that floor rose. Like they brought in a bunch of fresh talent. The booking is very different. It's more athletic based. They have a lot of big names. To me, the expectation now for these big shows and the money you're paying on ESPN and everything else has risen. So I need maybe just a little bit more to make this where it should be, right? Because now, again, their own bar has come up. And it's not a bad thing. Yeah. Like, look at the floor at 95, right? So the floor is way up, which is good. But
and to my point, I think
too many floor shows is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and to my point earlier is like I think we have different lenses, so to speak, right? I'm looking at it where I think WWE has an extremely, extremely strong month, and this is continued into the Rumble. All that investment, storyline, and TV-wise that they put in to get you invested in January, leading into this Royal Rumble, played out a lot, and still are just going to sprung past.
I know, but again, I just feel like now the ball game has changed with the PLE price. And again, I'm not saying it's fair or wrong. We used to pay $50 a shows, like whatever it is. I'm fine paying it. I saw people complaining that the VPN got blocked. They said, like, well, just fucking order the thing. Like, if you want. Like that's what we did. That'd be like me complaining my illegal box died in 1991. Like,
I'm 40 years old. I can afford $30.
Right, so fine, but that's fine. But as that price tag goes up, your expectations also go up for the show. To me, when it was $10 a month, it was kind of like whatever the fuck, who cares? Like I got the network anyway. I want the network anyway. But now that they even
yeah.
when is the cock, it was like $10 for the cock, whatever, $8 I'm paying. Who cares? Like, but now you're paying for Netflix. I'm paying for, I don't even know what the fuck I'm paying for anymore. With Peacock, like everything's everywhere, right? I'm paying everywhere. I'm watching some stuff on YouTube. I have to have YouTube TV to watch SmackDown. Like, I'm everywhere. I'm paying this stuff. I'm fine paying it because I'm a fan. And like you said, whatever. This is where I'm in my life. But now to spend another 30 something bucks a month on ESPN, I expect those shows to be 3 times better than Raw because I'm paying 3 times more of the price. So I'm just saying you're intrinsically introducing that concept in your fans' brains. Now, I thought they lowballed for way too long by having their pay-per-views be $10.
They really did.
They shot themselves in the foot in 2014. They should have kept WrestleMania. The Big Four should have never been part of that deal. It should have been $10 a month. You get the other months, and the Big Four, you pay another $30, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They devalued their own.
I'm not mad at that. Yeah.
Right. No one's complaining, but they devalued, from a business standpoint, they devalued their
but the marketing was strong of $9.99. You got a lot of past fans that buy in and get invested.
I'm just saying they taught a generation of people to only pay $10 for these fucking shows. And now, hence all the complaints when they went to ESPN and suddenly you're paying a different model. And then UFC goes over and they're included in Paramount Plus, whatever it is, right? Like
they flipped. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying though. So like now their expectations have risen because of it. Like not only is the expectation, higher from the wrestling standpoint, you're asking more money and you're already charging a shitload to go to the shows. So I'm just saying like that expectation goes up with what you're offering. So they have to meet that expectation now. Whereas before it's like, who cares? You're paying $8 for the cock and you're getting the whole library. You're not getting that anymore.
I rather build off the quality TV and it is what it is. I don't know about that with the motto. I'd stick that. What do you have? The least greatest Royal Rumble and do 20? Like, no.
So anyway, that's just my thought.
Still text me though.
And I do think they have to figure out shit for next year for Mania. Like they really have to anticipate and to give some of the Saudis like some credit. Like I do think they've improved the fan base by churning these shows there and they're becoming fans. In the beginning, it felt like they were forced to be there. Now it feels like, okay, like I think a lot of them understand into the product. It was 2 a.m. there or whatever by the end of the show.
Which is
going to be spent. They're going to be spent. So now, and the show's already at 2:00 here. Are you going to run WrestleMania at 11 a.m, or are you going to have them there at 3 a.m. and expect them to react the same way that you want to a main event, right? So that's point one.
Well, I'll tell you right now what their problem. Go ahead. Go.
Point 2 is we've seen a trend from the performers of not delivering to their potential in these shows. Again, I don't know what it is. I don't know why. But it's now a consistent theme. Like outside of little highs, most of the shows there have topped out at a certain point, right? And they seem like there's antsy being there. So now you're putting your biggest show of the year in that spot. And 3, it's fucking WrestleMania. And I get the Saudi deal. It's a lot of money. I understand. Given the Rumble, whatever, give them Saudi Mania in June. WrestleMania should be stayed in a domestic setting and build it in the town you want to build it in and hype it up and treat it the way it's been treated. So I'm not against the Saudi deal. I'm not making this a political thing. It's whatever it is. It's all the sports are in on this. There's shit everywhere that's garbage, United States and beyond, right? So it is what it is. I'm fine. And I'd say the same thing about Germany or anywhere else. Like I think having those shows treat other shows like WrestleMania. So take advantage of that. Backlash to Germany is WrestleMania. Good enough for me, right? Like make WrestleMania in the US. So I do think they have to figure out what they want that show to be, because if you just treat it like you did tonight, where, well, it's Saudi, we're not going to go crazy. It's Saudi, the wrestlers are a little antsy. Like, to me, the Mania is going to bomb. Like, and they put so much into what WrestleMania is. Like, they really they have a year and a half to figure out what that's going to look like. Like,
I can tell you
right now, if you have that crowd and that booking, it's going to be a bottom Mania.
Yeah. So I can tell you what their answer is going to be right now. They're going to load it with star power from the past, and they think that's going to be acceptable. And that star power from the past probably will play into the low bar, which WrestleMania 3 is going to be. So that's why I think this year is probably a sleeper year, that they know that they're going to have to kind of revamp that WrestleMania year this year, because last year I think they know that the Cody Cena match was a fucking abomination. The Travis Scott stuff was an abomination, right? And it was last year was a subpar WrestleMania 2 from 38, 39, 40, which were all
so do we
great.
get like a WrestleMania 12 bounce back where 11 they went heavy on the celebrities, they went heavy with the nonsense. 12 they come back, it's just the wrestlers, it's just the wrestling. So Yes. Could we come back with 42 being a very focused show,
Yes.
knowing, next year they're going to go crazy?
I think 42 is going to be 39 light, where it was heavily in ring quality, heavy in ring story, and you had a lot of hyper focused stuff. Where last year was just not that. You know what I mean? So I think they're in their bag because they showed that they're playing into the stories, and you saw them play out all tonight. And I think that they're kind of back into their groove. That's why I'm a little bit higher. That's why I'm at that 7.5. I thought it was a successful night. Do I think it was great? No, but I thought it was a very good show.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm around 6.5. I think the men's rumble was very good. I wouldn't have it as like an all-timer or anything. The women's rumble was fine. It picked up at the end. I think the booking choices were fine. Like, again, I'm not complaining that the favorites won. I just think it's tough to have a night where all the favorites win and no surprises in the rumble.
Stories that I've been saying the whole time here.
So Reigns, Liv coming out of as the winners. Drew, I think, deserves to be champion still. I didn't want him to lose to Sammy. And AJ, you knew was going, and I thought that match delivered. So a strong night, a good night.
Blue Sky's
just mad because his numbers sucked in the pool, so whatever. But like,
who won the pool for the record?
So my buddy Victor won the women's pool, and then Andy Atherton won the men's pool.
Excellent.
And I was close up. So I had Tiffy in the women. I had number 30. I had 27 and 30. Those are like 2 all-time Rumble numbers. I didn't win somehow. And then for the men's, I had 2 with Braun, and then he was out in 30 seconds. So I had a tough night.
So is it crazy? Like, we talk Royal Rumble history throughout. When Gunther came out at 30, or when Tiffany came out at 30, Cole said there's been 4 winners at number 30. And I was like, what? There has been? So I was like, the first one was The Undertaker.
Undertaker in 07. So they've all been since 07, which is crazy.
That's like, historically, my brain was like, what the fuck? Like, that forever there was never a number 30. Like, I'm so 20 years ago with the
30
history.
A lot of time was just like a jabron coming out and getting thrown out right away.
Right?
Yeah,
Duke
Warlord or Adam Bomb, famously DiBiase shitting all over him in 94. Like, what a disappointment. Adam Bomb doesn't show up. So anyway, it was a good Rumble. I think I actually feel better coming off this show. 2 years ago, for sure. I thought 2 years ago, I thought the Rumble was rough. I do think last year's was pretty good. I think this one's probably a notch below. But that doesn't speak to where I am on the company. Like, I think the company's doing fine. I just think on tonight, the floor and the expectations were higher. And I do think the location had a part to do with it, because I think they tampered down what they were going to do because of where they were.
Yeah. All right, Justin, we're at the end. Thank you, buddy. It was good to. Is this our third live, or at least our third video in a week?
Second that's live. Too much, I would argue.
Nah, the numbers wouldn't say so. We had 10 to 12 consistently here all night. I think that's a pretty good number for us. I think we are inching closer to our in-house goal of getting where we need to be. So,
and we want to shout out. Brandon was here, Ish, Trent, Jeremy, Ryan Everett, D'Amato, all weighed in. I know there were more watching. I could see it. Obviously, Chad's watching, maybe on delay, but he's watching. But thanks to all that comments, and thanks to all that. Watch everything in Rumble Week. We had a ton of cool Rumble content. And go back and watch it. It's evergreen. Like, you and I were part of a draft of Royal Rumble matches. Aaron George and I did the top January matches of all time. And then we also had our Rumble preview. What else? We did something else. Rumble. What else
we did the Rumble, Mr. Rumble, right? That's
Mr. Rumble live. That was great. And then Monday, WWE War, myself and Marcus are doing Royal Rumble 96 on that program. So Rumble Week will kind of have that coda of me and him breaking down Rumble 96, see where it ranks all time on our list on WWE War.
All right. So my question to you, just to put a bow on that, anyone move up in the Mr. Rumble ranks? I think Cody. It was in the teens. I think that nothing he did would bump him up.
Change that for me.
Roman historically is a 2-time winner. He was already number 2 for us, anyways. I don't think he jumped Cena.
He's not jumping Cena
because his performance was strong. Whatever. Brock maximizes minutes, but
no, I don't think anyone came out of this and we're going to go back and fix that list. Yeah, I don't think anyone.
So, all right, guys, it was fun hanging out with you, and Justin, thanks for jumping on. It was real fun. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.